In our today's session, we will be talking about Python errors and built-in exceptions. We will be discussing what are these errors that we might face in our programs, what are the exceptions we have, how it can be handled throughout this module. So before we start on this topic, let's have a small recap on what we have learned in our previous session.
If you want to become a successful data analyst and if you want to learn data analytics live from our industry experts, WsCube Tech got you covered. We bring you a complete course on data analytics where we will be starting our journey with the Excel. Moving ahead, we'll be talking about the databases where we'll be learning MySQL. And then for visualization, we'll be learning about Power BI and Tableau. Not just that, if you want to stand out in the market, we will also be teaching you Python programming along with the data science libraries. If you want to know more about this course, then you can find the attached brochure in our description, or you can also fill the form provided in our description. Now let's get started, guys.
In our previous session, we have covered all the topics related to the JSON. I hope you guys have no doubts and no questions in that. Now, getting back to our Python errors and exceptions, let's first understand that what are these errors and exceptions that we might face in Python. So guys, what happens when we are writing a certain code, when we are writing a program in Python, there are chances, there can be possibilities that we can make mistakes while writing these codes. Not just when we are writing it, sometimes there might be mistakes that can happen from the users end, sometimes there can be a mistake that can happen from the coders end. These mistakes that we make in our program are called as errors, and Python program terminates it as soon as it encounters an unhandled error. Now, what is unhandled errors? Now, there are some types of errors in Python that can be handled. So, when a programmer is creating a program, some kind of errors are there that it can handle, which can happen from the user's end. But there are also some types of errors that cannot be handled by the programmer. So, basically, errors are categorized into two categories over here. First of all, we have syntax errors. Second is logical errors. We will be discussing both the types of errors one by one. The logical errors are also called as exceptions in Python. These are kinds of exceptions can be handled while syntax errors cannot be handled. Let's first have a look on what our syntax errors are. Syntax error occur when we don't follow our program properly, when we don't follow the structure of the program properly. Now, what is the structure of the program? What is the syntax over here? For example, let's say when you are writing a print statement, right? You have created a variable and you have written variable is equal to some value. While writing the print statement, you forgot to use the parentheses. This will throw you a syntax error that your syntax is incorrect, that there is a parentheses missing over here. Now, these kinds of errors that is made by the programmer itself, these cannot be handled. Suppose you are creating a for loop over there and at the end of a for loop you forgot to put a colon. Same happens with the while loop, or maybe when you're defining a function you forgot to put a colon over there. So that kind of errors that is made by the user, that cannot be handled. These kinds of errors cannot be handled. So basically syntax errors cannot be handled. We'll just have a look on what syntax errors are right now, and later we'll be discussing more about it. So as I explained you syntax error, how syntax error can happen. For example, you have created a variable called as a. You have set its value to hello, and while printing it, while getting it printed, you forgot to use the parentheses over here and you have directly used a. Now what this will do, this will generate a syntax error over here that parentheses are missing. Another example if you want to take over here could be our for loop. For example, we have written for I in range. I'm taking any range over here. Let's take it for 0 to 11. Okay. And then I have printed I. Now this thing will also generate an error. What error it will generate? That there is a missing colon over here. So again, this will be what? This will be a syntax error. Let's see the syntax error with the help of our Python program as well. So I'll be creating a variable over here. A is equals to hello. And if I print a directly without using the parentheses and run it, you will see it is generating a syntax error, that missing parentheses over here with the print statement. Similarly, if I put it inside the comments and I'm trying to do one more error. I'm trying just to show you that how syntax error can happen. I'm giving you an example that for I in range 0, 11, purposely not put a colon over here and directly write print I. And if I try to run it, You can see over here it is saying syntax error, and it says expected colon, that a colon is expected over here in the end of this line. So if I, as soon as I put a colon, yes, it could be handled, but this is not called as handling over here because I have put it back over there, right? So syntax error, these kinds of errors are there which cannot be handled, which can only be corrected but cannot be handled. There is a difference between correcting a error and handling a error. So handling a error means that error will happen, but it will be handled. The program will still keep running even the error happens. Correction means you corrected the error and that error will not happen again. So here handling means what? That the error is there and it happened also, but it has been handled by the user in such a way that the program will still keep running. Because in Python, what happens? Every line of code runs at each time, right? You cannot execute the whole line of code. So in Python, what happens, we know that it is an interpreted language, which means that every time one line of code will be executed, and as soon as there will be an error, it will stop the program. Handling means that if there is an error and you have handled it already before, we will be learning how handling can be done. But as of now, just understand that if you have handled it before, then the program will keep running and it will not stop at a certain place. This makes our program foolproof, that even at certain conditions, if an error occurs, that has been handled and our program never stops over there, right? So syntax errors. So talking about syntax errors are basically the mistakes made by the user in the structure of the language, and it cannot be handled. Next, we will be talking about the logical errors. That means are exceptions in Python. Let's see what are logical errors and exceptions in Python. Logical errors are those kinds of errors which happen at the runtime. That means when you're running a code, there can be an error that happens due to not availability of something. Like suppose you have imported a module which does not exist. Suppose you have asked for a dictionary key that does not exist. Suppose you are trying to access an element from a list which does not exist, or suppose you are dividing a number by 0. So these kinds of errors that happens, that are the logical errors. These are also called as exceptions. Now these kinds of errors can be handled. We will be learning about how it can be handled in our upcoming sessions. As of now, just understand that what these kinds of errors are. I'll be explaining you with the help of an example. First of all, let's see how these errors happens. I'll be purposely making these errors happen in our program. Okay, so let's have a look how these happens. So I'll be taking one example over here. Let's say there is a module that does not exist and you're trying to import that module. For example, while importing a module, you write import and let's say you have written hello or any module that does not exist. Suppose if you're trying to also import random, but instead of random you have written random. So that is what is this? This will say that the module does not exist. It will lead to an error that module does not exist. This is a kind of a logical error. Okay. Another kind of error would be, let's say we have a dictionary. I have created a dictionary of people. Inside it I have name, let's say John, and age, let's say 23. Okay. Now while printing it, let's say I'll write print and people. Inside, if I try to print gender over here, we can clearly see that the gender key does not exist over here. Still, if we try to get it print, it will throw us a key error, which can be handled, but we will be just understanding right now that what are these errors that can be handled. So this can be handled, but we will be learning this later, that how this kind of error can be handled. Right now, we are just trying to understand that what are these logical errors and how they happen in our program. So let's have a look on Python as well. So here, if I try to import a module that does not even exist, suppose if I write import hello, and if I run my program, you will see it will throw me an error, that module not found error. This kind of errors can be handled. We will be learning it later. I'm repeating again. But right now, just understand that this is a kind of an exception which can be handled. Another kind of exception that can happen would be our dictionary one. So let's say I'll take an example of a dictionary where I'm creating a dictionary people. Inside it, I'm creating a variable called as name, and inside it I'm passing a value to it, that is John. Another key I'm creating, that is age, and I'm passing the value 23 to it. If I'll try to print people, and inside the square bracket, if I try to write gender, We can clearly see the gender is not there inside our dictionary, but still if a person tries to access a key, tries to find a key which does not exist in a dictionary, it will throw us a key error, which would say that there is a key error gender. That means this key does not exist, still a person is trying to access it. Similarly, in the condition of lists also, suppose there are few elements. Suppose I have created a list A which has elements like this: apple. Suppose here I have created a list A and it has elements like this: apple, mango, banana. And if I try to print an index number which does not even exist, so A of let's say I'll write 7. We know that here we have three indexes, that is 0. On 0 we have apple, on number 1 we have mango, on number 2 we have banana. Now 7 does not even exist. Still if we are trying to print it, it will throw us with an error that there is an index error. List index is out of range. That means whatever index we have written over here, it is out of range. In this list only 3 elements are there, that is on 0, 1 and 2 position. But if we are trying to fetch a position which does not even exist, then it will throw us an index error over here. So guys, these were some examples of exceptions. These were some example of logical errors. In our today's session, we will be discussing about handling exceptions in Python. In our previous session, we learned what are errors that can happen in Python. What are two different types of errors that can happen? We have syntax error, we have a logical errors. Syntax errors are the ones that cannot be handled, while logical errors are the ones that can be handled. So today in our this session, we will be learning how these errors can be handled. What are these errors? Plus, we will be learning how it can be handled. So first of all, let's have a look on errors that can be handled in Python. So there are few errors that I have enlisted that can easily be handled in Python. Some of them are zero division error, type error, name error, index error, value error, key error, module error, and import error. We will be discussing what are these errors, at what time these errors occur first of all, and then we will be learning how to handle these. So first of all, talking about our zero division error here. Now, when does the zero division error happen? Let's understand that. So our first case is zero division error. Now, as the name suggests over here, that zero division error means when a number is divided by 0. Suppose we have considered a case of two variables. Let's say a is equals to 5 and b is equals to 0, and we have written print a divided by b. We definitely know that a divided by b cannot happen. A number cannot be divided by 0, which will generate what? Which will generate our zero division error. So this is our zero division error. At this position, at this type of condition, our zero division error might occur. Okay. Next, we will be discussing about next type of error that we have over here, that is the type error. Type error. When does this type error occur? Type error occurs when you try to add a string with a float, add a string with an integer. Let's say you have taken two variables over here. A is equals to, inside the string you have written 1, 2 and 3. And here inside the b you have written an integer 1.23. Now if you print a plus b over here, then it will generate a type error that this type cannot support. This type is not supported, where inside a we have a string and inside b we have an integer. This is our type error. This type of error can also be handled. We will be learning this later. First of all, let's understand what these errors are. Nextly, we will be talking about index error. Now, what is index error? For example, here we will be considering a case of a list. When this index error can happen, suppose we have created a list over here which has few elements, let's say apple, mango and banana. And now if I try to print L inside the square bracket, we know apple exists on 0 number, mango exists on number 1 and banana exists on number 2 according to our indexes. But still if I try to write 3 over here, what will happen? It will generate an error that is called as index error. So here, because this index does not exist, this index is not there in our whole list only, so our range stops at number 2. But we are still writing number 3 and it does not exist over here. That's why it will generate an index error. Next, we will be discussing about the name error. What is name error? Let's understand that. Name error, when suppose we have created a function, the definition add, and here we have written print 9 plus 8. And while calling the function, what we have written, I have written subtract, open close the bracket. Now what this thing will do, it will generate a name error. Why name error? Because this name does not even exist. So there will be an error over here, which will be our name error. Next error over here would be a value error. For example, you have taken a user input that a is equals to int input, and you have written enter your height. Okay. Now let's say a person wants to write 5.6 over here in height instead of writing 5 or 6 over here. So if a person tries to write 5.6, it will throw an error that because it is not an integer, it's a float over here. So what that kind of error would be, that would be our value error, where it is not a integer, it is a float. Or maybe if a person has written it in the form of a string in this way, like 5, 6. So this will also generate a value error over here, because this would be then called as a string, and here we are taking the input as an integer. Next we have a key error. What is a key error? Let's discuss that. First of all, let's create a dictionary A. Inside A we have name colon John, and we have John's gender, that would be male. Now here what I want, if I want to print A, and inside the square bracket if I write age, what it will do, it will generate me a key error. Why it will generate me a key error? Because age key does not even exist. If I would have written over here name, it wouldn't have generated any error. But because I have written age over here, which does not exist inside this dictionary, that means it will generate a key error for us. Moving ahead, next we have is a module error. Let's understand what is module error. So module error is when you import a wrong module. Now that you have written import to call a module, but you have imported a module which does not even exist. Suppose you have imported WsCube, but it does not exist only. So what it will do, it will throw us with an error called as module not found. That means it's a module error. The module that we have written over here does not exist. That's why it will throw a module error for us. Lastly, we have an import error. Now when does this import error occurs? Suppose we have a module over here. We have a module file. Okay, we have created a file of module. Inside it we have created a function, that definition add, and inside I have written print 9 plus 8. And here what I have done, in my main file I have written from module. So whatever the name of the module would be, let's say the name of the module is demo, and here I have written from demo import subtract. Okay, so now subtract does not even exist, but still I'm calling for it. This will be what? This will be our import error. This thing will throw our import error, where we will call a function of a module which does not even exist inside the module. This will throw what? Our import error. Now what we will be doing, now we will be discussing how to handle all these kinds of errors one by one. Let's have a look on how it can be handled. Now, how in Python an error can be handled? It can be handled with the help of a try and except block over here. We will be using the try statement, and we will be using the except statement to handle our errors. That inside our try statement, we will be writing the code in which the error might occur. For example, if we are taking the condition of zero division case, then we will be writing our code which might throw an error. That means we will be writing our 10 divided by 0 inside our try block, and inside the except block, inside the except statement, we will be writing our message that needs to be executed when an error occurs. So that in that way the error will be handled. Let me show it to you with the help of an example over here. So first of all, considering a case of zero division error, I'll be writing over here zero division error. So what we will be doing, I'll be creating a variable over here that number 1 is equals to int input, enter a number here, and number 2 is equals to int input, enter another number here. Okay, after this what I will be doing, I'll be printing the division of these two. So I'll be writing print number 1 divided by number 2. Okay, and lastly I'll print thank you. Right, let's run and see what will happen right now. See here, if I enter a number here, inside it I'll write 12, inside over here I'll write 3, and gives me 4 and thank you. Now here purposely I'll try to generate an error. How? I'll be writing 12 divided by 0. So here it gives me a zero division error. It throws me an error, and our next part of the code, that is print thank you, it is not getting executed over here. Why it is not getting executed over here? Because it stopped over here only. In Python, what happens, it executes one line of code at every time, and as soon as there is an error, it stops the program over there. It will stop executing the next line. It exactly stops wherever the error is there. So here it stopped wherever the error occurred, and it did not executed the next part of the code. So here, to avoid this kind of things happening, so suppose in some part of a code there is an error that occurred. Now how we will be handling it and moving ahead with the next part of code, we will learn that. So as I told you that our try statement is used, and inside the try statement we write our code that might have an error. So here what I'll be writing try, I'll put a colon, and inside it I'll be writing my block of code which might have an error. Okay, now this thing might have an error, but we know that the error will be generated over here by writing a 0. Now how to handle that error, we will be writing except over here. So inside it I'll be printing my message that 0 division error. Okay, after this I'll be printing my thank you. Print thank you. Yeah. Now let's run and see what happens when we run this program. So it says ask for a number. I'll write 12 over here. I'll write 3. It works normally how it is supposed to work. But at the same time, if I purposely try to generate an error over here, I write 0, it will still work. It will still write over here 0 division error, and it will still move to the next part of the code. Previously, it was not going to the next part of the code because there was an error and the program stopped over there. But here what except is doing, that whenever there is an error and that error has been defined, we are telling them that there could be an error in this one. What error it could be, we are also displaying that message over here. So it has been handled over here, and our Python is executing the next line of the code over here. Now this is what 0 division error is. This is an example of how we can handle a 0 division error. Moving ahead, let's understand how we can handle type error. I'll be giving a heading over here, type error. So let's understand type error over here. I'll be creating a variable called as a. Inside it, I'm writing a string 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll be creating another variable b is equals to 1.23, which is a float over here. Now what I'll do, I'll try to add both of them. So I'll be writing a plus b over here. Let's run and see what happens over here. If I run it, it's giving me a type error, and I need to handle it. So to handle it, what I'll be doing, I'll be writing this thing inside try, and what we know that it will be a type error over here. So what we can do, we can write except, and inside we can print a message that there will be a type error occurred. Now if I run it, see, it has been handled properly, and if I try to print anything outside over here, print thank you, and run it. So that has been handled, and we can have got a thank you over here. Now, one more thing is over there. If you don't want to customize these messages, if you don't want these messages to be customized, what you can do over here, you can write except type error. You can already see the type error is written over here. You can choose it. Type error as any variable, let's say k. And instead over here, writing type error occurred, you can write k over here. And as soon as I run it, the Python will automatically create a customized message by itself. Here we don't have to write it by ourselves. Python automatically creates a customized message by itself, and that will be can only concatenate string, not float, or strings over here. So here it's throwing us a type error and also telling us that what is a customized message that we have over here. What is the problem over here? So totally up to you. If you want to generate, if you want to customize a message by yourself, you can customize a message by yourself. If you want Python to customize it for you, yes, that option is also available. So you can do it in both the ways. Next, you'll be moving ahead and talking about name error. Let's see what is name error and how it can be handled. I'll be writing name error over here. For name error, as I told you, if you create something that does not even exist, whose name does not even exist, then yes, it throws a name error. For example, if I have written definition addition, inside if I try to print 9 plus 8, while calling this function over here, I'll write subtract and open close the bracket. Now if I try to run it, it generates a name error that name is not defined over here. So how to handle it is very simple. You write it inside a try block, and here inside the except, you will be writing name error as k and print k. And lastly, I'll be writing print thank you. And if I run it, You can see name subtract is not defined over here. It is throwing us with a customized message that it has created by itself, and our program did not stop over there, and our thank you is working over here. This is our name error. Next we'll be talking about index error over here. Let's see what is index error, how index error occurs, and how it can be handled. So I'll be writing index error over here. For index error, we simply need a list over here. So I'll be considering an example of fruits. Fruits is equals to, inside the list, I'm going to write apple, mango, and banana. Okay. If I try to print over here fruits, I know that on index 0 we have apple, on index 1 we have mango, on index 2 we have banana. But if I try to write number 3 over here and run it, you will see it will generate me an index error which says list index is out of range, that no such index exists over here. Whatever index we have written, it is not there inside a list. That element is not there inside a list. Now how it can happen? The user can, if you're asking the user to ask for any element, to access any element, it writes a number that does not even exist, then that this kind of errors might happen. And to handle it, we will be using our try block over here. So I'll be writing try. Inside I'm gonna pass this statement, and in the except I'll be writing name error as k, and I'll be printing this k. So now if I run it, in the except we will be writing our index error. So index error as k, and if I print k over here and try to run it, we will get our output in list index is out of range, which is a customized message from our Python, and at the end we have printed thank you. So this was about our index error. Moving ahead, next with us we have an value error. Let's understand what is a value error. First of all, I'll be creating a variable called as a. Here I'll be asking for an integer input, enter a number here. Okay, I have taken the input in integer, but suppose here when I print it, print a, there might be a value error occurring. How it will be occurring? Suppose instead of a number over here, I have written a float 1.23. If I write it, it says it is a value error in invalid literal for integer with base 10 1.23. That means this we have asked for an integer, but we are writing a float in written. Or suppose if we are writing a string also in written, suppose if I have written hello, so in that case also it will generate a value error that we are asking for an integer over here, but at the same time we are getting the input as a string, or let's say as a float over here. So that would be a value error over here. To handle it, again we will be using a try block on the top. So try, inside the try we will be writing our code. In the except we will be printing our message. So it's a value error, so yes, you can use a customized message over here. Value error as k, and then I'll be printing my k. So as soon as I run it, it gives me suppose I write 1.23 over here. It gives me invalid literal for integer with base 10 and 1.23, and thank you message is there. That means a customized message has appeared for a value error, that what value error has occurred, what is the mistake over here, and yes, it has continued with our next part of the code. So this has been handled over here. Next we'll be talking about the key error over here. Let's understand how key error occurs. So for key error to occur, we will be creating a dictionary of people. People is equals to, inside a dictionary I'll be writing name, colon, John, comma, age, colon, 23. Right. Now here I will try to print people, and inside the square bracket I'll be writing age. So if I run this will work smoothly, that it will give me a age 23. That means the value of a key 23 over here. But at the same time, if I try to write a key which does not even exist, suppose if I'm writing a gender, that does not even exist, that key does not even exist in our people. In that case, if I run it, it will throw me an error that there is a key error. Key error is what? Gender. That gender does not exist. This key does not exist over here. To handle it, again we will be using our try method over here. So try, and inside it I'll be adding this part of the code in which the error might occur. And inside the except over here, I'll be writing my message that it's a key error, right? So we can customize, get it customized, that key, it's a key error as k, and we will be printing our K over here. So as soon as I run it, now it gives me that there is a that this gender is an error over here, and you can print thank you. So this error does not actually looks like an error to me. So what I'll do, I'll write accept over here, and I'll write key does not exist. So whenever you feel there is a need of writing the message by yourself, you want to define that what message should be displayed. Yes, you can definitely try it and write any message that you want to write over here. So I'll be writing key does not exist, and then we can write thank you directly. Next, we'll be moving ahead with our next error over here that we are going to handle. That would be our module error. Let's see what is a module error. So module error occurs when we are trying to import a module which does not even exist. Suppose if I try to import WsCube. I know that WsCube does not even exist over here, but still I'm trying to import it, and when I try to run the program, it gives me that module not found error. This means this is a module error, that whatever module we are writing over here, whatever module name we are writing over here, that does not exist in our libraries, or that has not been created also. So to handle it, again we will be creating a try block over here. Inside the try, I'll be writing this, and here with our except, so module not found as K. So these are the perks of using PyCharm, that you don't have to write it by yourself. You don't have to write all these things by yourself. You get everything over here. You just have to write the first initials and directly you get everything over here. So I'll be printing K, and as soon as I run it, it gives me no module named WsCube. So it has told us that what is the error over here, and it has moved ahead with the code. So our try and accept is working over here. Lastly, we will be handling our last exception over here, that is the import error. Let's see what is the import error. For import error, what I have done for import error, I have created a demo file over here. Inside this demo file, inside this demo module, I have two functions, that is add and subtract over here. Now what I'll try to do from this module, I will try to import multiply. I know that multiply function does not even exist over here, but if still I'm trying to import any function that is not even present inside the module, then it will throw us an import error. Let's see how it can be done. So if I write from demo import multiply, right? Let's run and see what happens. It says import error, cannot import name multiply from demo. Why it cannot import multiply from demo? Because it does not even exist over there. So again, what we will be doing, we will be writing our try over here. Inside it, I'll be passing this statement, and inside the except, we will be writing import error. So I'll be choosing import error over here as K. I put a colon and print K over here. So as soon as I run it now, it says cannot import name multiply from demo, because there is no function multiply that exists in our demo module. That's why it's throwing us an import error over here, and that has been handled by us by using our except block. So guys, these were the enlisted errors that we had, and we learned how to handle all of them. So in our previous sessions, we have covered the topics of exception handling. Now today we will be talking about the problem solving related to the exceptions over here. So what I'll be doing basically, that I have a whole calculator program. Now when you create a calculator program, you directly create it, right? When we created this mini calculator program, I just want to show this project to you.
If you want to become a successful data analyst and if you want to learn data analytics live from our industry experts, WsCube Tech got you covered. We bring you a complete course on data analytics where we will be starting our journey with the Excel. Moving ahead, we'll be talking about the databases where we'll be learning MySQL. And then for visualization, we'll be learning about Power BI and Tableau. Not just that, if you want to stand out in the market, we will also be teaching you Python programming along with the data science libraries. If you want to know more about this course, then you can find the attached brochure in our description, or you can also fill the form provided in our description. Now let's get started, guys.
Now this was one of the projects that we created, right? We created a mini calculator project, and if I run it, it does not have any error as such. That if I write 1, if I try to take a number, let's say 12, and if I write 2, so it will add the numbers for me, and if I write yes, in that case it will again ask me for a number. But what if I write hello over here? What if the user write hello over there? In that case, what it will do, it will throw the error and it will stop our program over there, right? That there is a value error over here. So let me run this once again. So what I'll do, I'll write over here. This time I'll go for the zero division error. So I'll choose division over here. Write a number, let's say 10 divided by 0. And it will throw me an error that it is a zero division error. Now we don't know that at times user might make any mistakes, right? So that means our program is not foolproof. That means when the user will execute this program, there are chances that they can make mistakes, right? So at that time our program will stop over here. What we need to do, we need to make our program error free. For making it error free, what I'll be doing, I'll be applying the method of try and except inside the calculator, so that every time an error occurs, it will throw the error to the user in the form of a print statement that you have made a mistake inside a program and do you want to try again, and then it will repeat the whole program once again. So for that, what I'm gonna do, first of all, I'll copy this whole program from here and shift it to my problem solving part. So here we have got this program. Now what I need to do, I need to use try and accept. But where do I need to use this try and accept? First of all, let's do one thing, let's put it inside a function. So I'll be putting the whole program inside a function over here. So I'll be creating a function called as definition calc. So this is the name of my function. I'll put a colon over here and store all my data inside this, so that while calling the function would be easy over here. So shifting all the data inside this. After this, what I'll do, I'll use the concept of try and accept. Now how to use the concept of try and accept over here? I'll be putting that try over here, because from the choice only the error kind of things will start occurring. From here only that person can start making an error over here, right? So what I'll be doing, I'll be writing try over here and put my whole data inside it. Now this is our try part, that there can be error anywhere in this part, right? After this, what we need to do, because for the accept, what we need to write over here, let's see that I'll be writing accept. Let me just check the alignment. So the alignment is not correct. So I'll be writing accept over here. Inside the accept, what we need to do, we need to write that what error it could be. Now it could be a zero division error, or a person would have written a string inside it, or any kind of error might occur over here, right? Now we cannot write the errors directly over here that it is a zero division error, because what if it's a string error, that means the person has written a string, that means it's a value error and it shows the zero division error over there. Or what if it's a zero division error but it shows the value error over here. So to avoid that, what I'll be doing, I'll be creating a customized message over here that I'll be writing print you have entered incorrect information, and another print statement that would say kindly try again. So I'll be writing kindly comma try again, right? After doing this, what we need to do over here, after writing print statement, we will be asking for repeat, because right now what will happen, even if I run the program, because it's a function over here, we need to call it. So let me just call it quickly, that calc. I'll be writing and start open close the parentheses, and now if I run it, so it would look like this, that press 1 for addition, 2 for subtraction, multiplication, division, enter your choice. If I write 1, enter a number here. So if I write hello, it will handle the error over here that you have entered incorrect information, kindly try again. After this, directly the list is coming. What if a person does not want to try again? So for that, what we can do, we can add a repeat statement over here, that repeat 2 is equals to input do you want to try again, question mark. And if the users want to try again, in that case what we will do, so if repeat 2 is equals to no, small n no, or repeat 2 is equal to capital N no, in that condition we will break the loop, else the loop will continuously keep going. So let me run it once again and show it to you that what would happen in this case. So here enter your choice. Let's say we have written 1. Enter a number here. Let's say I have written hello. It would say you have entered incorrect information. Kindly try again. Now it asks, do you want to try again? If I will say yes, then again it will give me press 1 for addition, 2 for subtraction, 3 for multiplication, 4 for division. So I'll write 4, that is for the division. Again purposely I will make an error over here, that I'll write 0. And it says you have entered incorrect information, kindly try again. This time if I write no, it will end my program over here, that it won't continue from here. So this is what we have done basically, that we have handled every error that can possibly come inside the calculator. and then we have written that you have entered, because the error is not happening from our end, the error is happening from the user's end. That's why what will happen over here, that every time user will write any incorrect information, it will display that you have entered incorrect information, kindly try again. And then it will ask as well that do you want to try again, and the repeat is no. In that case, the break statement will be used. Lastly, we have to call the program in this way so that it works. So I hope guys that the concept of try and accept is clear over here. Inside the try we have to keep a block of code which might throw an error, and inside the accept we have to write that once the error comes, what should happen, how it should be handled. So this is our try and accept method. I hope you guys have no doubts and no questions. In our next session we will be starting with a new topic. So stay connected guys, and I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.